Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today from different parts of the world. Welcome to our exclusive Trajectus podcast, Startup to Scaleup, the BOT Blueprint for Business Success. My name is Caitlin Clark, and I'll be your host for today's session. We appreciate you taking the time to join us today. We'll explore how the Build, Operate, Transfer, or BOT model is becoming a game changer for businesses looking to scale efficiently. Before we dive into today's topic, let me introduce you to our esteemed speaker, Sam Akunuri. Sam is an industry veteran with years of experience in IT strategy, product development, and digital transformation. He is also the co-founder of Trajectus, and he has helped numerous startups and enterprises successfully implement the BOT model to drive growth and innovation. And we're so thrilled to have you with us today, Sam.
Thank you so much, Caitlin.
Yes, thank you. And Sam, you've been a part of the tech world for quite some time. So could you share a little bit about your journey, how you've seen technology evolve over the years, and kind of what excites you most about this global tech development landscape that we're experiencing today?
Yeah, you're right. I've been in this field for over 20 years. And what excites me most about the global tech scenario is what I would call the democratization of
Mhm.
technology. So it's not just limited to the IBMs or the Microsofts of the world. Even small, medium-sized companies can take advantage of the latest cutting-edge developments in technology. We, over the last 20 years, have helped so many companies, big and small. And what excites me most is to see the journey of our clients and help them in
Mhm.
their journey by being a part of their solution. So it's just exciting what's happening in the tech world, and it's something we don't take it for granted.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. Now we're going to talk about why we're here today, and that's scaling a business from a startup to a successful enterprise. And that's obviously no easy feat. In fact, according to one of PwC's survey reports, about 77% of CEOs cite talent acquisition as a major obstacle to grow. So the build, operate, transfer, BOT model is a strategic solution that helps companies overcome this challenge while also optimizing resources and costs. So I do have a few key questions for Sam to start off the discussion. So with this recent U.S. administration's policies imposing about $100,000 fee for new H-1B visa applications, how do you see that affecting companies that rely on, foreign and skilled labor?
Well, recently the policy changed about H-1Bs. The 100,000 fee created a huge stir in the industry, and people were worried and concerned. And now it's slowed down a little bit because the impact of this new policy will not be felt immediately. It will be felt
Mhm,
gradually over
mhm,
several years. And I've also heard that people say, "Oh, this will affect the bigger players, the big companies, the Amazons of the world, the Googles of the world," and that's not necessarily true. It will have a trickle down effect and impact medium sized and small sized businesses, because when there is a limitation of access to H1B talent pool,
mhm,
the bigger companies get to go and hire whom they want, generally
mhm.
speaking, and that will impact the smaller medium sized companies. So there'll be a trickle down effect of the talent shortage. And Trajectus uh, is situated very well with this new policy. First of all, we don't depend on H1B talent pool. Our staff in the US are mostly citizens or green card holders, so the
Mhm.
policy itself doesn't impact Trajectus directly, but it impacts our clients. Secondly, we've been in other countries. We've been in Canada for 20 years, 19 years, I'm sorry. We've been in India for 17 years. We've been in Philippines for around 5 years. So
Hmm.
we are having a global presence, and this helps us to help our clients to offset the impact of this new H-1B policy.
Hmm.
Also, uh, for a lot of our clients, having access to global talent is going to be very useful to not worry about this 100,000 fees, because that's a deal breaker, or that's a
Yeah.
non-starter for small,
Hmm.
medium-sized businesses. A big company, it's not that much, but for small companies, Trajectus is perfectly situated to help them.
Awesome. And thank you so much for those key points, and explaining, the process and how everything would, how everything would work. Um, but I guess my next question would be, how does the bot model address the talent acquisition challenges that those, CEOs, the 77% of CEOs identify as a significant threat to business growth, though?
So, as we all know, no matter the size of your company,
Hmm.
talent is the most
Yep.
important factor for the
Yep.
success or failure of any business. And again, the global companies, for example, Microsoft probably has tens of thousands of employees in offshore teams,
Hmm.
probably 20, 30,000 employees in these countries. But for the small, medium sized businesses, the build, operate, transfer model takes care of the biggest hurdle in accessing offshore talent, because a medium sized company can't fly around all over the world, talk to attorneys, government entities,
Hmm.
lawyers, banks to set up operations. And that's where our build, operate, and transfer model will help them take advantage of this global talent without dealing with all the frustrations and hurdles that are involved with establishing teams in other countries. And also, our BOT model is very flexible. So we can scale up. We don't say that, oh, we'll take 6 months to build. We can build teams within 4 weeks, for example.
Oh,
And then
wow.
we operate it as long as the clients want. Some of our clients, after 3 years, said, hey, listen, you've been a great partner. Now we want to establish our own presence and
Hmm.
transfer the team to our entity in that country. So the flexibility is what will really help our clients take advantage of our build, operate, transfer model.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that insight. I do have another statistic for you. According to Statista, the IT sourcing market is projected to grow at an annual rate of about 8.2%, reaching about 587 billion by 2027. So, Sam, how can startups leverage that BOT model to scale operations efficiently if the landscape is always evolving?
That's a great question. And we are working with more and more startups. And startups, it's such a fragile situation.
Hmm.
I think the statistics is like 87% of startups fail. And they fail for different reasons. And what we do is we take care of the biggest puzzle of a startup's
Hmm.
problem, right? Which is talent. So when we help startups find talent, retain talent, it helps them to focus on other key aspects of a startup's
Okay.
operations, such as raising funds or marketing their product or selling their product, maintaining, generating key partnerships for their business success, and leave the staffing and talent part of the equation to us. So
Hmm.
startups can take especially a great benefit from partnering with us. And the other important thing for startups is, cash is king. And with our model, their funds that they raise will go a much longer way than if they do not engage a cheaper talent option like ours.
Okay. No, that makes perfect sense. Um, so when you're scaling those operations, but while also maintaining the quality, it's probably a challenge for growing companies. Um, so with the BOT model, how do you facilitate this process effectively?
So we make sure that our clients, especially
Hmm.
those who are growing, do not spend hours and hours trying to find talent or
Yeah.
screening them for technical skills or cultural overlap and all that.
Hmm.
So we make sure we have a lot of checks and balances to make sure
Yeah.
quality is ensured. For example, we are ISO 27001 certified, we are
Hmm.
SOC 2 compliant, and these are things that our clients can take comfort in knowing that the quality standards are taken care of by Trajectus, by all these
Okay.
certifications and our track record.
Yes. And obviously that speaks for itself. Um, there's been a resurgence in the BOT model for market expansion, which I'm sure obviously you know. So in your opinion, what are those key factors that are driving this renewed popularity? So that's particularly in the US IT sector that we're looking to cover today.
There are multiple reasons why this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, the one thing is what COVID did was it allowed management and many managers to be comfortable knowing that their talent is not in their physical building. So then it became an issue of, does it matter if someone is 100 miles away working from home as long as they're productive, or 1,000 miles away? In fact, after COVID, many people moved in with their families, with their parents,
Mm-hmm.
and they moved to their hometowns. And then the question became that, does it matter if the talent is productive if they are 100 miles away or 7,000 miles away? So that was one of the triggers for this build, operate, transfer, or the offshore development centers boom, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
also the other thing is, cloud computing and cloud security and cyber security, sorry, and you know internet connectivity. These are some of the things that have really stepped up. 5 years
Mm-hmm.
ago, 10 years ago, the infrastructure wasn't that great, whether it's internet connection or cybersecurity and all that. But now there are so many tools, right? And
Mm-hmm.
for example, people would pay so much money for data storage. Now with Azure's and AWS subscriptions, those have become really, really inexpensive options. So all that has led to a boom of the build, operate, transfer models in other countries, and and also the offshore development centers. In fact, it's mind-boggling. You could go to remote villages in some of these countries in
Mm-hmm.
Africa and Asia,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be amazed about the internet connectivity in those places. So that's another thing that is driving this boom.
And thank you so much for that insight. That was really, eye-opening, especially for someone who doesn't always have that, that technical background. Um, so another study shows that about, I think, 62% of outsourced IT projects, they usually exceed their budgets. And then while 60% of failures stem from like cultural misalignment, which you kind of talked about a little bit. So the data reflects why, many organizations feel fatigued by offshore teams, especially from India. So in 2025, what's your take on this, and how does that bot model address those concerns?
So that's a good question. In fact, at least once in few weeks, I come across someone at a party or at a conference, formal or
Hmm.
informal, where they
Yeah.
say that, "Oh, I've gone offshore and I got my fingers burnt, and I'll never do that." Or people have bad taste in the mouth from, uh, you know, uh, going after global talent. Uh,
Hmm.
and uh, and I always smile, and I explain that there are a lot of pieces to this puzzle.
Yeah.
If people say, okay, somebody is giving me a Java developer for $21, and that's like a 70% cost saving, let me do it. And then after 3 months, they're pulling their hair out. So uh, it comes from many reasons, right? So one is
Hmm.
cultural, and of course there is a lot of fraud as well in this kind of setups, unfortunately. Then there is also communication gaps. There are
Yeah.
issues with people doing a bait and switch. You talk to a very, very skilled IT resource, but
Hmm.
the person working on your project is bottom of the barrel, unqualified talent. So there are so many reasons why these
Yeah.
fail. They
Hmm.
also fail because the technical talent doesn't understand the business requirements of
Okay.
the client. It also fails due to different local HR policies and
Hmm.
so on and so forth. Failure has dozens of reasons, right? So
Hmm.
what we have done over years, we have streamlined this process where our failure rate is very, very low. In the market, we find clients who are burnt out with working with teams in other countries, and we have worked over all the kinks, and it's not one single thing. So
Hmm.
security is a big thing. You want to make sure you hire a talent who's not watching YouTube all day or TikTok all day, and
Yep.
so many
Yep.
other reasons. So
Hmm.
one of the things we do is our clients talk to one point of contact, a account manager in the US. They don't have to
Hmm.
deal with HR issues, operational issues, attendance issues, absenteeism, and all that. We also make sure I mentioned we are SOC 2 compliant, we are ISO
Hmm.
27001 certified. So we have offshore development centers that are run 24/7. Data and operations are always in the safe hands. But most importantly, we have a very, very rigorous recruiting process and matching process. So we make sure the communication skills are good,
Yep.
the culture is good, and the commitment is there. Because one of the things we prevent is there is tremendous amount of turnover of talent. And when someone
Hmm.
key members working on your project leave after 3 months, client have to go back to square one. So we have a lot of things that prevent that, and the guardrails we have put in place make sure that our BOT models are successful.
That's awesome. And thank you for explaining that in such, detail. Um, and so finally, how does the Trajectus BOT model specifically help startups overcome challenges, and building those scalable and robust, tech infrastructures?
So startups, again, I mentioned earlier,
Yep.
it's very, very fragile. Uh, I remember when we started Trajectus, 20 years ago.
Hmm.
And so startups need the talent and the help, but also they have very little, uh, margin for error. A
Yep.
startup that makes some critical mistakes with two or three hires can go off rails and their funds run out and they have to close shop. So, especially with our BOT model, startups, in fact, recently we started working with a tech startup in the Bay Area, and
Hmm.
they needed top end IT AI talent. And I talked to the founder and the CTO recently, and they said because of Trajectors, we are able to breathe and not work 20 hours a day, first of all, but also
Hmm.
focus on other areas of our startup, trying to get those the initial 5 to 10 clients and raise funds because your team is taking care of all the technical
Hmm.
needs. They're getting the demos ready, they're getting the proof of concept, the POCs in time, and they're saving close to 75% of
Oh,
their
wow.
estimated budget if they didn't use the BOT model. So
Hmm.
it's tremendously helpful, especially for startups.
Awesome. And obviously very helpful to explain each of those things because each of those are a concern for someone who might be starting a startup. So well, that brings, us to the end of today's podcast. A huge thank you to Sam for sharing such incredible insights. If you'd like to learn anything about what we've discussed here or how Trajectus can help your business scale through the BOT model, feel free to visit our website or connect with us on LinkedIn. And Sam, before we officially close, is there anything else you'd like to add to this conversation?
Well, first, I want to thank you, Caitlin. And I also want to thank everyone for listening to this. And
Mhm.
we are here to help. I know this was a short conversation. There's so many other details that go into
Right.
it. So we'd love to talk to you. And we also want to share our knowledge. We've been in other countries for 20 years and we've
Hmm.
learned a lot. So even Prospective clients who want to just talk to us may not necessarily want to engage us, but want to uh, learn more about our lessons learned, or
Hmm.
maybe just bounce ideas of us. We
Yeah.
would love to share our knowledge, even if we don't engage in a business relationship in the
Hmm.
short term. Call us and chat to us.
Yes, and I think that's great. That's great. Well, a big thank you once again to Sam for sharing his insights, and thank you for all of our listeners for joining us today. Until next time, we say stay innovative and keep scaling, and I hope you guys have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.